Hey there! If you're prepping for the CMA exam, you know that profitability ratios are a huge part of it. Today, we're going to zero in on one of the most important ones out there, return on equity, or ROE. People call it the ultimate measure of performance, and for good reason. But it's all about looking at things from the owner's point of view.
So, I want you to put yourself in the shoes of a shareholder for a second. You've invested your money, your capital, into a business. You see all the financial news, the reports, but what's the one thing, the single most important thing you really need to know? It all comes down to one question.
And this is it right here. This question cuts through all the noise. It gets right to the heart of what matters to an owner. It isn't just about whether the company is profitable. It's about how effectively the company is using your specific investment to make those profits. And luckily, there's one key ratio that answers this question perfectly. And that ratio, of course, is return on equity. I mean, the name says it all, right? It's all about measuring the return from the perspective of the people who actually own the company, the equity holders. So here's the formal definition, and it's super important. ROE tells you exactly how much net income the company generated for every single dollar of equity the shareholders have on the books. A higher ROE, well, that generally means the company's more efficient at turning those shareholder dollars into real profits. All right, so to really understand ROE and ace it on the exam, we've got to pop the hood and see how the engine actually works. Let's break down the formula. The formula itself is beautiful in its simplicity. Up top, in the numerator, you have net income. That's the bottom line, right? The profit left after every single expense and tax has been paid. And then on the bottom, in the denominator, you have average total equity. This is what the shareholders truly own. Now let's pause on a really key word here, average. You might be thinking, why not just use the equity from the end of the year? Well, think about it. Net income is earned over an entire year. And during that year, the company's equity can fluctuate. Maybe they issue more stock, or profits boost retained earnings. By using an average of the beginning and ending equity, you get a much more stable and accurate picture of the capital base that was actually at work generating that profit. Getting this little detail right is absolutely critical for the exam. Okay, let's make this real with an example. So this company made a net income of $81,000. At the start of the year, its equity was $650,000, and it ended the year at $800,000. So first step, we find the average. We just add the beginning and ending equity together and divide by 2, which gives us $725,000. Then we just plug it all into the formula, $81,000 in profit divided by that average equity.
And boom, there's our answer, 11.17%. So what does this actually mean? It means for every single dollar of owner's equity in the business, the company churned out about 11.2 cents in profit. That's the return the owners are seeing. Pretty straightforward, right?
Now here's where things can get a little tricky, especially on an exam. It's really easy to mix up ROE with another big name ratio, return on assets, or ROA. They sound alike, but they're telling you two very different stories. Understanding that difference is huge. And you can see that difference laid out right here. We know ROE is from the owner's perspective, using equity on the bottom. But ROA, that looks at things from a broader management perspective. It asks, how well are we using all our assets to make a profit? It doesn't care if those assets were bought with owner's money or with debt. That's why it has average total assets in the denominator. And this is the secret sauce. Just think back to your basic accounting equation. Assets equals liabilities plus equity. The only thing separating the denominator of ROA from ROE is debt, liabilities. And since any company with debt will have more assets than equity, the ROE is almost always going to be higher than the ROA. This introduces a really powerful concept. That concept is financial leverage. It's basically using borrowed money, debt, to finance assets. And leverage can have a massive, sometimes mind-blowing effect on return on equity. But you've got to be careful because it is a classic double-edged sword. Let's look at a quick scenario. Here's company A. It's got $1,000 in assets, and it's funded entirely with equity. No debt at all. It earns $100 in net income. So you do the math. Its ROE is a nice, clean 10%. Okay, now check out company B. It has the exact same $1,000 in assets and earns the exact same $100 in profit. But look at how it's financed. Half of it is debt and only half is equity. The owners only had to chip in $500. So when we calculate ROE now, that same $100 profit divided by a much smaller $500 of equity, the ROE skyrockets to 20%. Did you catch that? It literally doubled. Same operation, same profit. But by using other people's money, debt, to fund the assets, the return to the owners gets magnified. That is the incredible power of financial leverage. From a return standpoint, this looks amazing, but there's always a but. And here's the other side of that sword. More debt means more risk. You've got interest payments to make no matter what. It makes the company less resilient if times get tough. It decreases solvency. So if a highly leveraged company hits a downturn, it can get into serious trouble fast, and that increases the very real risk of bankruptcy. Okay, let's wrap this all up. Let's talk about the absolute key takeaways you need to lock into your brain for the CMA exam when you're thinking about return on equity. First, remember, ROE is the owner's metric, period. Second, don't forget to use average equity. That's a classic exam trap. Third, and this is the big one for analysis, leverage juices up ROE. That means a high ROE isn't automatically a good thing. It could mean the company is a profit machine, or it could mean it's drowning in risky debt. A common mistake is to accidentally use assets instead of equity. Don't fall for it. Your job is to be skeptical. Always, always ask why the ROE is what it is. And that really leaves us with one final thought. The next time you're looking at a company and you see it has a fantastic high ROE, don't just take it at face value. Be a detective. What's the very first question that should pop into your head? Is this high return coming from great business operations? Or is it being artificially inflated by a mountain of risky debt? Answering that question is what separates the number crunchers from the true financial analysts. Thanks so much for tuning in.